Okay. Actually, before you get to there, how many of you, got the show of hands here, if you're doing this at home, you should like make yourself raise your hand too. So you have to commit to answering the questions. How many of you think that basically everybody is at about the same level of intelligence? And
everybody?
Yeah. And that when there appear to be differences, the differences are like situational differences or the effects of like anxiety or stress or other things. But that basically, really and truly, people are about the same level. Anybody?
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you say situational, you mean also upbringing, or you mean just stress at the moment?
Yeah, let's assume like situational and changeable.
What do you mean by intelligence?
I'm going to give you the typical psychologist answer. Whatever it means to you. Anybody think that? Really?
No way.
You should have seen when I was driving behind yesterday.
In fact, I was going to make this comment. I think it's even reflected in, well, I don't know. I was going to say in these readings, but maybe not. But these readings, I'm going to ask you a question. Did you put them in this order deliberately? Because I started reading them out of order, and then I started reading them sequentially, and they seem to be a progression of theory. I think I'm answering my own question. Because the people that Jones and
Well, of course I did it.
well, no, but that Jones and Conrad, that chapter 7, those guys were nuts. I mean, they were so I mean, I know it's a style of the time, very patronizing, we're the people studying, but also the way they did some crude data analysis stuff that was really faulty, and I was like, okay, no, this is, and then it gets increasingly, and then I like the Miles, she was really good, and she was written a year later, and I just thought it became increasingly more sophisticated, and then ending with the McCardle article where he actually has that other way of looking at it besides fluid and crystallized. He has that other, he's bringing in a new theory which is added complexity. So it seemed like there was just added complexity and sophistication as it went on.
It was primarily chronological.
Yeah, but it was...
Which also feeds into increasing theoretical development.
It was interesting.
Good.
I mean, I was...
It's one of the reasons I love this book and keep using it, is you get to see the changes when they occur, and also some of the things that have stayed the same for decades. I mean, you have some...
That Jones and Conrad, though, that's really like a period piece. There's some things that are you can take through time, like Chapter 9, the little Miles article. That's sophisticated and simple and elegant. But that Jones and Conrad is just...
I would say that their basic argument in
I
the...
had trouble.
And the sort of the basic diagrams that they used were what was at least taught in professional schools, and to some extent in graduate schools, at least through the 70s. And depending on the discipline up into the 80s, the people pretty much bought the idea that intelligence peaked we'll talk about this some more. The intelligence peaks in early adulthood and steadily declines.
Maybe I also got trapped in their writing style, which I found really...
I'm not saying it's right. I mean,
No, but I think the writing style was whatever. The native style, the native English speakers.
Well, this is one of the problems, I think, with the whole topic of intelligence in some ways, is that particularly in the early 20th century, it was really caught up with like eugenics and racism. So most of you do think that people differ in intelligence. And you think that's essentially a trait? How many people think it's a trait?
As opposed to what? What are our options?
Suppose it's something that's shifted state-like.
No, I think it's a trait.
Mostly a trait? Holy Virgin. So what else did I ask you? Oh, how many? You think? This is going to be a two-part question, so you get to vote on. Do you think intelligence is one thing, or do you think there are several intelligences. How many of you think it's basically one thing? How many of you think there's several intelligences? How many of you don't have a clue? Okay. So what is intelligence? Originally, what intelligence tests got developed to do was as public education became a thing, one of the problems that people ran into, this was like about the late 19th century, roughly, depending on what country you're in. Until then, pretty much only the children of the relatively well-to-do got educated, and actually pretty much only the male children of the relatively well-to-do got educated. And then with the increasing democratization of this and that, public education kind of became a fairly early social change that grew out of getting rid of explicitly hereditary nobility kind of things, systems. And then with the rise of the merchant class and all that, you got some body of education too. Simone Binet, hence the Stanford Binet intelligence test after it got to the United States, but in France in the late 19th century, Binet developed intelligence tests. And the problem that they were trying to solve is once you got, probably not really everybody, but something more nearly approaching everybody in the classroom, it turned out that a lot of people really didn't learn very much in the classroom. And the original goal of intelligence tests was to try and have a relatively quick and easy way of identifying these folks so that you could get them out of the classroom and everybody else could get on with the business of education. This is also the underlying principle that the article was talking about in Lawton and Selhouse volume, John and Conrad, about the Army Alphas. The Army Alpha was developed to screen out people who were too stupid to make it in the Army. And then it got brought over to the United States, and for quite a while, and to some extent, even to the present, a lot of the emphasis in intelligence testing is still kind of focused on educational achievement. It is most clearly and consistently what IQ tests do really well. Generally speaking, IQ tests correlate with classroom achievement as measured by things like grade point and averages, something on the order of 0.7. So it's one of the stronger correlations that we see in psychological testing, and more generally in psychology. And actually, I finished my graduate training about the end of the 70s, and at that point, it was pretty much was being taught, with the exception of the third bullet point I'll get to in a minute, is that probably what IQ was and did was it measures academic intelligence, and so predicts academic performance. And it was sort of the conventional wisdom at about that time that IQ didn't really correlate either at all or very, very poorly with any kind of everyday success measures or measures of success once you got done with school and moved out into the so-called real world. And so it's sort of thought to have this particular niche. Now, of course, in the U.S. and most other developed countries, the educational policy kind of evolved over the years so that rather than just eliminating people who scored very low on IQ tests, they put in special programs and special classrooms, and then later yet there's kind of some of the mainstream and really kind of came back. Although there are black